topical issues. I'm going to talk about a very interesting thing. I'm going to talk about the worship of the sun god. I'm going to talk about the way Sunday became the day of worship. Many people believe that Sunday is the seventh day, but others believe Saturday is the seventh day. Sunday is a day that was designated for the worship of the sun god. But how did the Romans start worshipping the sun god? After the death of Caligula, there was a struggle to have somebody to replace him. And some of the concubines in Caligula's harem, or the queens at that time, broke rank and went to their original places. There were those who went to Syria, a place called Emesa. And in Emesa, there was a temple that worshipped a meteorite, black in color. That was supposed to depict the existence of the sun deity. So a plan was hatched, and after several maneuvers and struggle for powers by the Praetorian Guards. Who are the Praetorian Guards? Praetorian Guards were special guards that were the Caesar's bodyguards. We can have a similar thing now when you go to the Holy Church. We have the Swiss Guard. Those who specifically guard the head. So before that, there were Praetorian Guards. And Praetorian Guards would guard the state, guard the Caesar. But sometimes they would hatch a plan and overthrow the Caesar. Sometimes kill the Caesar. Like Julius Caesar was killed by the Praetorian Guards. So Praetorian Guards would check on excesses against the Roman Empire, but they could also enhance what the Roman Empire wanted. So a young priest by the name of Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, who later came to be called Elagabalus, left Syria with the worship of the meteorite, the black rock that had not been hacked, touched in any way, and moved with that rock from Emesa, which was in Syria, to Rome. And what happened is, this guy was ritualistic. He had crazy ideas of worship. The meteorite, the black rock, depicted the sun god. He had 4 chariots with parasols. Parasols are covers. And wherever that stone moved, it moves with the 4 horses and the parasols guarding the god in that black stone. And that is how the worshipping of the sun god on the sun worship Sunday began in the Roman Empire. But Elagabalus or Marcus Aurelius Antoninus had many ritualistic activities and behaviors. He would move around, always moving backwards. I think that's why people say that when witchcraft is being conducted or when occultic practices are being conducted, people don't enter the houses facing the front, you move backwards. Aurelius would move backwards, always fixating his eyes on the God, the sun god. And wherever the procession was moving, the procession would go around. Sometimes he would go around the walls several times. Elagabalus story is sometimes interrelated with our famous Jericho story. But Elagabalus was crazy. He did many crazy things until the Praetorian guards would not be able to stand him anymore. So instead of guarding Elagabalus, they killed Elagabalus, ending that era. But within that era of Elagabalus, there had been many things that had happened. Evil had covered the land. Witchcraft had covered the land. The worship of the sun god had come with so many evil things. But taking on from there, the Elagabalus sect of the sun god became the main god worship of the Roman Empire. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the effects that occultism can have on the mind of a society. And the bloodshed can be led with that if unchecked. And the way out is always through bloodshed. The modern society has lived through its entire life without knowing about Elagabalus. But Rome had its share of crazy leaders. This was a Syrian-born Caesar who ruled Rome, who introduced the worship of a black stone that would be pulled around with horses, with parasols. And there began the worship of the sun god and strange cultic rituals. What am I saying? I'm saying that anything that we see coming with different ideas, be they religious, be they political, be they whatever, weigh and see who is flagging them. How are they flagging them? Because once you make a decision the way the Romans made and Elagabalus took over, it had to take the intervention of the Praetorian guards to get rid of Elagabalus. But the modern society does not have to go through that. The modern society has got ways of checks and balances. The modern societies can have faith so that there's no interference with any occultic things. The modern society can be able to sense who their leaders are. I just thought of bringing that, the beginning of Sunday worship, the Sunday worship, and the mistakes that were made by people, but also to them they had to finish it the wrong way. The right way is watch the leadership of any country, because leadership can have a very big impact on the entire country, entire continent, and entire world. Caligula's had a very serious effect on the Roman society. Elagabalus had worse. This was a shorter time. But it was the Praetorian Guards who had to remove him after several civil wars. And it took a long time with the continuation of civil wars because a precedence of bloodshed had been started, until it ended up calming later after so many shakeups, so many civil wars. But the first time the people had been happy because they had gotten a son priest. In our life, let's all shout for Elagabalus, and also let us not be Elagabalus to our own societies, to other societies. That's my take for now.